Hey everybody, it is Joelle Terranova. It has been such a long time since I've gone live. It's been so busy, but I miss you all, so come on in. I hope everybody's having a great day. I am super excited to specifically talk to all of those who are renting right now because there is something happening in real estate that I really think that you all should be aware of. And me not speaking on this, I almost feel like if I don't speak on it, I'm part of the problem. And I don't want to ever be part of a problem. I want to be a part of the solution. So please, if this is your first time watching me, welcome to my live. Put a 1 in the comments, please, just because I want to acknowledge you. And I want to say welcome, thank you for listening. If this is your second or more time watching me, please put a 2 in the comment section of this go live so I can thank you and welcome you back. And let's begin. Any comment that you have, go ahead and you're more than welcome to ask. You're more than welcome to comment. I just ask that you keep your comments professional and well put together because we're better together. Not apart, not arguing. When we have problems and obstacles, we do way better when we solve it together. So let's get into it, right? So I need you to pay attention to this from beginning to end, because if you don't, it's not going to make a lot of sense. But if you hear everything from beginning to end, it'll make a lot of sense. And pretty much I have 5 major bullet points. So if you are a renter, this information is going to be super vital for you to understand so that you can make some good decisions for you and your family. I don't have to convince anybody that they need a roof over their head. I often say, as a realtor, it's really not my job to sell a house. A house sells itself. You either go in and like the house or you don't like the house. It doesn't matter what I say. There's nothing I could verbally say to make someone love a house if they really don't like the house, right? And you can either afford the house or you can't afford the house. There's nothing I can do or say to increase your income to be able to afford a home. So as a realtor, y'all, if you have a realtor that says they sell houses, it's a lie, and they don't even understand what they're supposed to do. No tea, no shade, I'm just being honest. My job as a realtor is to create solutions to problems, and we got a big problem, especially that's about to hit renters in a big way. So here we go. Bullet point number 1. First thing is this: there is not a lot of inventory. So you might say, what do you mean? What, there's not a lot of inventory? That means there are not a lot of houses for sale on the market. I'm sure that anybody who listens to this will agree with that. Anybody who listens to this will agree with that. If you don't agree and you feel that there's a ton of houses that are being listed that are on the market, please feel free to prove me wrong. But I think that everybody that listens to this will agree that there are not a lot of homes for sale on the market. And a lot of that has to do with some sellers being a little bit nervous to sell their home because they're now afraid to become a buyer, which if they have the right agent, they need not be afraid of that at all. We'll talk about that toward the end. So, bullet point number 1. Something that I'm sure we all agree on is that there are not a lot of houses like before that are on the market ready to be sold. Okay? Bullet point number 2. What most of you don't know is out of the houses that are on the market being sold, the number 1 seller, the number 1 category of seller is, guess who? Can anybody guess what type of individual is selling their house right now out of the few little houses that are on the market? What is the category of the seller? Is it entrepreneurs? Is it single females? Is it professionals? Is it families? No. Number one seller on the market as of right now are landlords. Specifically, they call them tired landlords. They're the ones that are selling. Why is that? Why is that? Now, Karen said pre-foreclosures. We really don't see a lot of foreclosures. Everybody thought because of the pandemic that we were going to see a lot of foreclosures. Absolutely not, at least not at this time. Why? Because there were so many bailouts given and people's homes were saved because they didn't want to see people out in the streets because they lost their homes. So a lot of people are waiting for this big wave of foreclosures to come, thinking that they can get houses dirt cheap. Those that are waiting on those, absolutely, they're not coming. But I can understand why someone would feel that way. But our number one seller right now are tired landlords. Why is that? It's because the numbers for a tired landlord right now make total sense. So think about it. Let's take a landlord that may have purchased a property. Let's say, let me put my, I need to plug my phone in here. Let's say they purchased a property. Hey, Shanita. Let's say they purchased a property 5 years ago. And let's say they got it for a steal, right? Let's say they got a property. Let's keep the numbers easy for me. Okay. So let's say they bought a property for $100,000, right? We're talking about tired landlords. Bought a property 5 years ago, $100,000. Let's say they put $20,000 into it to fix it up, make it look nice. So grand total investment, $120,000. Now, from year one, they've been renting it. Let's say they were renting it for $1,000. Right? So that means every year for the past 5 years, they've been getting $12,000 income. Now that's not net because there's going to be some expenses. But again, for the sake of my brain and numbers, can we just keep it at 12,000? If you want to get specific with the numbers, great. Now, if you've been getting $12,000 for 5 years, it's $52,000 money that you've made on a $120,000 investment. Let me ask you a question. That house that cost $100,000 5 years ago, how much in this crazy market do you think that house is worth right now? How much do you think the house is worth? We got houses selling 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I've even seen some houses go 100,000 over ask. Now, all depends on your market and where you reside. So let me talk about the great state of Pennsylvania. That house that was $100,000 5 years ago can at least go on the market right now, at least. And we're going to make it a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. Okay. That can go on the market right now for at least $225. Great condition. Not even that great condition. Okay condition. $225. And we're probably going to get over the ask price. For giggles, let's just say we end up at $250. So I want you to think about that landlord that invested $120,000 over the past 5 years, has gotten a little over $50,000 and now can sell that house for $250,000. He's pocketing $300,000, y'all. Why wouldn't he? That is why we're seeing that our number one seller right now are tired landlords. They're tired because they're tired of renting. They're tired of people calling them. They're tired of having to fix this and fix that. And they're seeing, because they're an investor, that they can get a huge return on their investment. The other reason why they're selling is a lot of them are nearing retirement age. I just sold a property for a lady. She's retiring. She doesn't want to be a landlord anymore. And she saw a great way to supplement her income and wipe her hands from the rental market. All right. So let's go back. Bullet point number 1 was there's not a lot of inventory. Bullet point number 2 was that the people that are selling are tired landlords. So if you're a renter, please listen up to what I'm saying, because if you don't pull your head out of the sand, you might be in trouble. And I don't want you to be. I just want you to be informed, right? I just want you to be informed as to what's going on. So let's go to bullet point number 3. What in the world do you think that every realtor who is aware or is educated and who wants a listing, who do you think they're going after right now? Who do you think that every realtor in America is trying to get a listing from right now? Y'all, if the number 1 seller right now are tired, ready to retire, distressed, out of town landlords, I guarantee you, if you are renting right now, your landlord has gotten emails, postcards, phone calls. A lot of us realtors are brazen enough to knock on their front door because it's our job to produce inventory. And it's very, very easy for us to find out who. I could order a marketing list right now to say, tell me all the landlords in such and such counties. So those that are renters, whoever you are renting from, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a family member. A lot of the landlords are getting bombarded by realtors who are willing to do whatever to sell that landlord's rental property that maybe you live in. Are y'all connecting the dots? Are you connecting the dots, y'all? Number 1 bullet point, first bullet point, we got low inventory. Number 2, number 1 seller right now are tired landlords, and the numbers make sense for them. Number 3 is that every realtor in America who's informed knows this. And in order to keep their business afloat, they're looking for those listings. Dear Mr. or Mrs. Landlord, are you tired of renting? This is a great time to sell. You can double, triple your investment from 5 years ago. This is what your property is worth now. It'll probably go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 over ask. Wow, what a monumental time for you to sell. Y'all, if I was offering you to have 300 and some thousand in your pocket right now, that might be a little hard for you to turn down, especially now that we're dealing with inflation. I'm just saying. Does it make sense? Let's go to bullet point number 4. Right? Let's connect the dots. So number 1, low inventory. Number 2, we have our top sellers right now that are listing properties are tired landlords. Number 3, every realtor knows it, and that's who they're targeting to get listings. Number 4, what happens when that tired landlord now sells the property? I can tell you what happens because it's happening to a lot of people that are coming to me. The new owner is doing one of 2 things. That new owner may not be an investor, and they're just looking for a roof over their head for them and their family. So if unfortunately you're renting that home, you're about to get an eviction notice. Now, if you have a lease, again, I can only speak for the state of Pennsylvania. Other states may be different. But here in Pennsylvania, the new owner has to honor that lease. So let's say you got 3-4 months left. They're still going to serve you with a notice to say, listen, at the end of your lease, you out of here. If that doesn't happen, here's the second thing that's happening. The new owner may be an investor. They are taking the property, fixing up the property, and upping the rent. They see dollar signs. You all, there's a very popular saying amongst the wealthy that when people get fearful, get greedy. It's very popular. You got to, and because you may not be in the land of the wealthy, and this is not a put down or looking down on anybody, but you got to know the conversations that are happening with different groups of people. So people that are looking to acquire wealth or have already acquired wealth, they have a little saying amongst themselves. When these folks that aren't wealthy start getting scared, y'all, we're going to get greedy. And that is what we're seeing. I feel that if you're not among the wealthy, maybe you don't want to start getting greedy. But I'm telling you that you need to start getting smart. You need to stop, again, I will use this term for forever. Stop burying your head in the sand. Stop procrastinating. Stop hoping that it'll just go away. Stop not making sure that you're okay. So bullet point number 4 is this. Landlords that sell, when the new owner comes in, they're either telling you, you got to go because me and my family need a place to live and this is going to be our house. Or they're going to do all kind of upgrades to the property. And if you were paying $1,000 a month, they're going to let you know that if you want to stay here, you're going to be paying somewhere between $1,500 to $1,800 a month. And some of y'all, it prices you right out of the place. That is why I posted the other day that I'm actually seeing wage earners, people who make money. They're not broke. They make money, but they're living in storage units to avoid having to live in their streets and cars. They're living in storage units with their families to avoid being out in the streets. And they make money. But what has priced them out is the fact that the rent has gone up. They're trying to deal with inflation and they don't have strong enough credit. Well, some people say, no big deal. I'll just go find and rent somewhere else. Ask anybody who has looked for a rental, how easy is it to find a rental right now? If you find a rental that's affordable, it's a rat trap in most cases. Some people, when they go in to get a rental, they're going in with 600-700 credit scores. If somebody tries to go in with 400-500, the days of getting a rental with a 400-500 credit score are long gone. I have seen people with 400 or 500 credit scores go in to get a rental, have offered to pay cash the full year rental, and still got denied. They had the cash, y'all, to pay for the whole year. The landlord said, your credit is bad. And so now, because they didn't handle their business, they're stuck. They're stuck. They need to live in a place that they're not happy with. They need to find something. They need to find something quick, because I don't have to convince anybody that they need a roof over their head. So people are now being forced to live in situations that they do not want to live in. Let's look at bullet point number 5. Bullet point number 5 for me is the ultimate. So I'm going to take my time on that. So for those of you who might have just joined, let me just go back through again. Hopefully you can connect these dots. Bullet point number 1, there's not a lot of homes for sale. Number 2, the homes that are for sale, the number 1 seller are tired landlords. They're selling, y'all, because the numbers make sense. Every realtor now knows this. So every realtor, to keep their business alive, is targeting landlords to try to get the listing, to try to sell their home. It just, the numbers make total sense for them to sell. When that landlord sells, you're either getting kicked out or your rent is going to get upped. So here's the thing, y'all. This leads me straight into my 5th point. And the 5th point really has been resonating all throughout this time that I've been with you. And it's this: stop burying your head in the sand. That's what I should entitle this. Stop burying your head in the sand. Get real. Get your stuff together. Stop letting 3 digits get to you. Stop allowing that to cause you to try to figure out how to survive with bad credit instead of living with great credit. It's not about money anymore. Like, nobody cares about the money anymore. You can have the whole year's rent. They will still deny you. There are people that are bidding on rent. So the landlord might be saying, okay, listen, I have a rental, it's $1,500. There are people coming in saying, listen, I'll pay $1,700, I'll pay $1,800. So your whole 1 year worth of rent doesn't mean anything. Somebody has great credit that's willing to pay more month to month. They're going with that person. So you might say, well, Joelle, okay, cool. I can understand what you're saying. I need to get my credit right. But have you seen what's out there on the market? I don't want to be a buyer right now. Everything is crappy out there. I've looked. I haven't seen anything that I like. Here's the biggest secret of them all. I should be charging for this secret. This is the biggest secret of them all. If you have a great realtor, if you have a great realtor that thinks outside of the box, once your realtor assesses what it is that you need, want, location, price point, they will find you a home. Guess what, y'all? As realtors, we got the juice to find a home that's not even on the market yet. We got the juice to convince a seller, a property owner who's not even thinking about selling right now, to say, listen, I got a buyer for you and they're willing to pay blah, blah, blah for your home. And you don't even have to have people in and out your house, and we can make this a smooth exchange. Do you know that there are people out there like that are waiting for individuals like you to say, I would love to buy your home. But here's what happens. A lot of realtors aren't ballsy enough to approach somebody and say, hey, you have a really great house. It's exactly what my client is looking for. Could I sit down with you and review some numbers to see if maybe selling might be in your future? Do you know how many sellers I have got because of just asking the question? And they did not have to deal with 50, 60 people going in and out of their house. And my buyer was able to get exactly what they wanted at exactly the price point that they needed. You all, it is possible. Hey, Nev. Hey, Trina. It is so possible. But you have to explore the possibilities. You have to have a team around you that's not afraid to explore the possibilities. You have to be open to the conversation. You have to be open to an open, honest conversation. Can I tell you a common phrase among realtors? I'm telling all the secrets. I'm telling all the secrets. A lot of realtors are going to be mad at me today, but I don't care because I need to make sure that y'all know. Do you know what realtors say? They say buyers are liars. When people get desperate, they start lying. Y'all, in the 12, almost 13 years I've been doing this, I've confronted some buyers that weren't telling the truth, but they weren't telling the truth because they were feeling desperate. Sometimes you're not honest when you're feeling desperate. Get yourself with some people that you don't have to feel desperate around. You can tell them, listen, my credit stinks. I don't have any down payment money. I got these 10 kids and we need a place. And this is how much I make. And this is how much I can afford. Get you some people like that where you can have what we call open, honest, underbelly conversations. Anybody have a pet? If a pet doesn't trust you, the pet's not going to let you rub their belly. We call underbelly conversations where you're okay to expose your underbelly and say, this is what it is. This is what it's not. I need help. Hey, Diana. So you got to get real about what's going on. If your 3 little digit credit score is causing you a problem, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Now, do you know that there are 5 things, 5 simple little tiny little things that you can do yourself? Most of them are totally free. They do not involve writing dispute letters. There are 5 little things that you can do yourself to get your credit score up immediately. Like the same day. Like instantly. Because you know we live in a society where we want everything fast and easy. That's part of the reason why sometimes you get in trouble. But because I know what I know that we want things fast quick and easy, because the society that we live in right now makes it very, very difficult for us to navigate a whole bunch of steps. You all can fix your credit without even having to do dispute letters. So here's what we're going to do. In the description of this go live, I hope that you waited till this point. I'm going to make sure that you have a link to a very short webinar where I explain to you exactly what our team does to help people get from point A to point Z inside a home. And I'm also going to give you a link to the 5 basic things blueprint that you can do to get your credit score up immediately. Now you might ask, who would this qualify for? Oh, thank you. Neff says she's not playing. My credit score jumped within 30 days. We did. And Neff, I know that I can say this about Neff. Neff has been wanting to do this for quite some time, but the circumstances weren't right. And now it was right. Y'all, if you can, stop procrastinating. One thing I'm not going to do is play with nobody's time or play with nobody's money, because quite honestly, y'all, I don't want nobody playing with my time or my money. Okay? I don't want nobody playing with my time or my money. So I ain't going to play with your time or your money. My job is to get you into a house, and I'll be gosh darn if 3 numbers are going to stand in my way. I'm not having people that I know live in storage units or live in their car. It's not happening. You bring the income. I don't care if you work for McDonald's, Uber, if you a CEO, a CFO, you own your own business. I don't care. You work for MLM. I don't care. As long as you have verifiable income, we can get you. I can't pay the mortgage for you, you know. I can't do that. Now, what happens if you see a home that you're okay with, but it's not your forever home? Grab it. Grab it. Why? Because every single client of mine that grabbed a house, literally every single one of them, 30 to 60 days later, the house appreciated in value. Y'all, it appreciated in value. I have one client I talk about all the time. He bought a house for $609,000. Now he's for Pennsylvania, that's in the luxury side of it, but those numbers are easy for me to remember. In 45 days, that $609,000 home had appreciated to $690,000. $690,000. Y'all, I asked him on the phone, I was so excited for him. I said, what else in your life just handed you almost $90,000 in the last 45 days? He said, Joelle, nothing. Then I showed him, because we had to do a little credit help to get him in, and he's an entrepreneur, so he doesn't pay, like he didn't have his taxes done. We were still able to get him a mortgage. Y'all, don't allow, not all lenders are created the same. So if you're an entrepreneur, you have your own business, sometimes your taxes get a little wonky. Sometimes you don't have W-2s. You can still get a mortgage. Are you kidding me? Absolutely, you can still get a mortgage. You can still buy a house. Those things are not crimes. Just because you decided to be an entrepreneur does not mean that you cannot own a home. You think Elon Musk owns his own home? You think Warren Buffett owns his own home? You think Oprah owns her own home? They're all business owners. You're allowed to own your own home too. And there's certain things that business owners we go through that's a little bit different, but you need to have a realtor that understands that so they can point you in the right direction. Y'all, that house handed him $90,000 in less than 45 days. And guess what? I showed him how he could tap into that equity because there were some changes he wanted to make in the house and he wanted to put some money in his pocket. I showed him exactly what to do so he could pull that equity and do what he needed to do. You all, please, 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 and please stop letting those 3 little digits keep you stuck. It need not keep you stuck. If you're stuck, it's only because you choose to be. And it is my hope for each and every single one of you that listen to this, that is a renter, that if you are renting and that is your choice, great. But if you're renting, make sure your credit is strong because you never know, that property does not belong to you. And please do not cry and say, oh, well, the interest rates are now 4, 5, 6%. Can I tell you something? Your monthly rental payment is 100% interest. your monthly rental payment is 100% interest. Now let's think about this. Would you rather pay 5% interest and the other 95% is basically going in your pocket toward the principal that you can actually pull out of the walls of your home? Or would you rather pay 100% and somebody else is pulling that equity? Somebody else is pulling that whole monthly payment and putting it in their pocket and filling their gas tank. Thank you, Mr. Renter. You just fed my family and fed my gas tank. Y'all, get smart. Get on the right side. So if you find a home or a property, it's not your favorite, but you can deal with it, y'all, you want to be on that side of the coin, because at this point, property values are only going to continue to increase. Please don't think that what happened in 2008 is going to repeat itself. What happened in 2008 only happens here in the United States because of predatory lending. What we just experienced was a worldwide pandemic that has totally changed the planet. None of us, I don't care what political affiliation you are, what color you are, what gender you are, none of us that went through 2020, 2021 think the same way that we thought in 2019. Our thinking is totally changed worldwide. We're not the same. Some of us lost people. Some of us almost lost our lives. We don't think the same, you all. So what happened in 2008 is nothing in compared to what happened worldwide in 2020 and 2021. It's not going to simmer down anytime soon because the whole world was shook. 2008, it was just the United States. And the laws that caused, or what happened in 2008, laws were put into place to make sure that those predatory lending things don't happen again. So if you're sitting thinking that this market is going to cool anytime soon, you're wrong. And if you're sitting in a rental position, you really put in, and you have not the best credit, you're really putting you and your family at potential risk, because if your landlord sells that property, your lease will be able to protect you, at least here in the state of Pennsylvania. Other states, I'm not sure, but your lease will be able, and this is not legal advice, you want to talk to an attorney, your lease will be able to protect you until the end of the lease. But then what? But then what? Y'all get smart. So I will make sure that the links are in the description of the Go Live. I am excited to talk to each and every one of you. Y'all, there's no cookie cutter solution. You have to have a person that's willing to talk to you, to understand your situation. Even with Neff, we got on the phone. How many times we talked? We had to talk it out because not everybody's situation is exactly the same, right? It's just like walking into the emergency room and I say, oh, I have a headache. And you walk in and say, oh, I have a headache too. They can't say to both of us, take two of these and call me in the morning. No, my headache might be something totally different. We need to run some tests and do some scans and ask some questions. Same in your case. We got to do some tests and we can find out that we have two totally different circumstances. Y'all, if y'all signing up for these free credit repair, when you fix credit for somebody who's looking to purchase a home, it is a totally different fix. It is not the same. It's not the same. And you want to be with a team who has the same objective as you. I need to get in a house yesterday. I don't got time to sit around and credit repair all day. I got to protect my family and I right now. You need to show me some solutions right now. I know any female, especially that is listening to the sound of my voice, that has a child, play with our kids. The thought of my son having to live in a storage unit or having to live in a car, it's not happening. It's not happening. I don't care what it's not happening. I'm not going to let my credit score stand in the way of my son living his best life so that he knows what the best life looks like, so that when he gets older, he continues that best life. My son, who's 8 years old, has a 736 credit score right now. He has no idea. Y'all, he's not going to know his social security number till he's at least 30, married with 3 kids, and I'll let him know what his social is. But I've been teaching him how to use that. We talk about generational wealth. Wealth begins with understanding credit, understanding finances, seeing a problem and fixing it. Fix it. Don't just leave it there. Fix it. I have enjoyed you all immensely. I need to go live more. I miss you all so much. It has been busy. I have so many people that I'm excited to help. But I'm hoping that those that have listened and have heard the sound of my voice have a sense of urgency. I hope that this go live shook you up. I hope that you don't get a good night's sleep tonight thinking about, oh my God, I got to stop burying my head in the sand. Let me talk to this lady. I got to talk to her. I got to talk to her. My team and I are ready and willing, happy, no pushiness, no judgment, no, oh, this is bad. Don't you hate going to somebody and you want them to fix something? Have any of y'all ladies gone to the hairdresser and they start talking about how bad your hair looks? Well, that's why I'm sitting in your seat, lady, so you can fix it. I don't need you to criticize me. I hate when people do that. So you'll never get that. You'll never get us on the phone talking bad about how bad your credit is and why'd you do this. Judgment for what? I've been there. I know what that feels like. I don't need you to judge me. I'm coming to you to help me. So either you're going to help me, or if you're going to get busy judging me, let me just hang up this phone, because life is hard enough as it is. I don't need to make it any harder. So anyway, thank you all for listening to the Go Live. I'm excited to talk to you. My team is excited to talk to you. We're here to help. Please do not allow yourself to be so overwhelmed and so afraid that you don't make sure that you secure you and your family. You all, please have a great day. And again, I look forward to talking to each and every single one of you very, very soon. Bye-bye now.